Well, good morning, everyone. Thomas Montgomery here. It is a beautiful but rainy Friday morning, March 8th, 2024. We get together most weekdays at this time, 8 o'clock Central, to talk about funding, really. We had applied for a grant, we received a grant, and the premise is that we help small business owners create fundable businesses so they can get funding. And so today we have a topic that addresses first tranche financing. So that's the first round of funding that clients receive, participants in the grant program receive. I want to make sure that everyone understands what it is, how it works, and we'll even look at a success story. So hopefully my screen shared. What we like to always reiterate, and I think you and I understand it, but sometimes it's good just to emphasize it. A fact is most entrepreneurs, most small business owners, whatever term you want to use, people that own businesses, most of them want or need money to start or grow. That's a fact. Not all of them, but most of them. And because either they're not doing so well and they need an injection of capital, or they are doing well and they might need more capital to scale up and grow. The problem is that most of them do not have a fundable business. And we've had conversations about this. A lot of entrepreneurs don't even know what a fundable business is. What does it take? And we've had other discussions on that. So that's where you and I come into play. We help small business owners. We help them build their financial literacy, what it means to have a fundable business. And then through the grant subsidized program, we help them have a fundable business. So that's the next line here. The problem is, we live in this society where people want instant results, and that's fine, and it's okay to have aggressive expectations, but that is frankly not possible in what you and I do in most cases. It normally takes, as it's stated here, 30 to 60 days to create a fundable business. Now, granted, if the client has some elements in place that can accelerate it, so it could be quicker, but I think we want to under promise and over deliver. So in general, the answer that you and I should have if someone asks, how long does it take? Now, what they're, again, most people are kind of simple-minded. So they're like, how long until I get funding? Really, the question they should be asking is, how long until my business is fundable? But again, we're going to always be facing this battle that most people skip the relevance, the importance of being fundable, and they just worry about being funded. But we don't get funded until we have a fundable business, then apply. But regardless, the grant subsidized program is 30 to 60 days, which I think you could argue is not so bad. However, a lot of folks need funding sooner. And so we have revised the model, it's evolved, where we accommodate that now. We get them their first tranche very quickly. So that's what takes us to the next line here. So we are able to assist them in getting funding offers without any hard inquiries, and our goal is to get that within 24 hours of enrollment. So a lot of phrases there we need to break down. So let's go to funding offers. So we will have them, and I'll go through the process here towards the bottom of the sheet, but we're going to have them fill out a simple one-page application, and that's going to give us baseline information that we need to put into our system. We're really fortunate. We now have about 40 different lenders of all different types and shapes and industries that have come together to support the cause. They have similar commitments to starting and growing small businesses, and they understand that we are at this point that the business isn't fundable yet. So this is the front end, because if we need 30 to 60 days to get a business fundable, then of course what we're getting in the first 24 hours is before this has occurred. So the first tranche is really based on the client's baseline credibility. Hopefully that makes sense. Secondly, when we talk, well, on funding offers, so we're going to get them offers. They don't have to accept it. They can pick the offers they want. They can pick one. They can pick multiple. And we'll show you some offers in just a moment that Alicia received yesterday. There are no hard inquiries to get the offers. And again, our goal is to strive to get this within the first day of enrollment. So as I clarified, then they can pick the offers that they want. So let's make this more tangible. Let's look at a real example from yesterday, a real person. And I see Doug's on here. Doug had a busy day, so he and I didn't connect yesterday as we were scheduled to, but this is Doug's client. So truly yesterday, this happened yesterday. Let's scroll down yesterday. Okay, so Alicia completed that one-page app. We put it into our portal, and Alicia received 60 cash funding offers. Now, that's more than average. The typical client will get 5 to 10, I guess, if I were just put a general category. So these are offers, no hard inquiries, from this group of about 40 different lenders. They're all making independent decisions. So it's like the perfect economic marketplace. They're all kind of competing for Alicia's business. So without any exaggeration, literally, Alicia now can pick the funding offer she wants. And you might ask, well, what did the offers look like? So she received one offer for $50,000. Now, again, remember, we're at the first tranche. You know, she's brand new in the program. We're not yet to having a fundable business. So this is what she qualifies up front for some working capital. This isn't the end goal. Obviously, we're working towards having a fundable business and being able to get much more. But this is essentially from day one, which is outstanding, right? So she has an offer for $50,000, repayment term over 5 years. She has an offer for $45,000, repayment term over 4 years. And these could be from different lenders. An offer for $39,000 for 36 months. And I don't have to read all these, but you can see all these are different offers that she received, and then a boatload of smaller offers. So obviously, if you do the math, if we only have about 40 lenders and she got exactly 60, that's interesting. That was an approximation. We added them up and it was exactly 60 offers. So the point is, some lenders may make more than one offer. You typically can only accept one offer per lender, but you could accept offers from multiple lenders and stack it. So her total, if our math is right, just over $500,000. Isn't that great? So that's initial working capital even before we've gone through the process to have a fundable business. The reason I break it out this way is some of you are concerned, oh, this is high interest, right? Well, the interest rates vary, but they were as low as 11%. If you look at what prime rate is now, 11% is not high. It's very reasonable. And then some of you are worried, this is an MCA where it's daily payment. No, these are normal term loans paid over a number of years. Now, normally when we do the larger business loans after we have the business fundable, those often are 10-year repayment terms, so the payments are lower, 120 months. You'll notice none of these are more than a 5-year repayment. So, I mean, can you think of anyone here on the agenda that might like $500,000 in the next week? And again, not everyone's going to get that same amount, but this is a great perk for clients. When you're enrolling them in the startup program, this is allowing us to get them some working capital offers quickly, and then if they accept the offers. Now, how do you benefit? And I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself with the agenda, but just as we talk through, let's go back to Doug for a second. So let's say that Alicia says, yes, I like this 50,000. So she gets 50,000 cash wired into her account. So that's good. So now she's got some extra working capital. Doug is the branch that brought Alicia in. What does Doug get? Well, Doug gets his performance fee. Well, how much is Doug's performance fee? Well, it's up to him. He picks. Doug, do you mind typing into the Q&A what your performance fee is so I can reflect accurately? So every time a client receives funding, if you, as the branch, have added a performance fee into the agreement, then the client is paying you a performance fee, which is okay. That's normal. That's kind of like realtor transactions, right? Every time you do a realtor transaction, the realtor makes, what is it, 6%, I believe, is the norm. Doug hasn't responded yet, so I'm going to assume that Doug's performance fee is 10%. So if Alicia accepts this offer, bam, Doug just made 5,000. Let's say she wants that plus this one. Now Doug made another 2,000. So 5,000 is 10% of this. 2,000 is 10%. So now Doug's made $7,000. So we're all in it together, right? The goal is to get the clients funding. That's what they came to us for. Here's what we can get them right away. And each time that they get funding, you, as the branch, get paid. So let's pause there. We're going to go through the process. So I don't want you to worry about the process yet, but just, does this make sense? What's your feedback on this concept? We get clients enrolled. The goal is to create a fundable business through the 4 phases, which we've talked about in separate training. But let's right away get them offers for funding so they have working capital. What's your feedback, Alicia, Andrew, Bernard, Carl, Katori, Charles, Doug, Elliot, Erica, Gilbert? We have 531, so I can't read all the names. I'm just looking for your feedback. What's your analysis of our emphasis of this in the model to help clients get a first tranche right away? Jenny, what do you think of this? Jeanette, Janice, Gilbert, Justin, Larry, Lon, Marilyn, Pauline, Richard, Robert, Ronald, Rosalind, Sanya, Terrence, Toyley, Varney, Zahn, and others. What's the question? What questions, comments, concerns? So Marilyn thought she only got a performance fee later. No, depending upon how you have your contract. See, as a branch, you control, do you have a performance fee or not, and how much is it? And it's normally set up to be off of each tranche. So that is providing immediate funding to the client and immediate revenue to you. So theoretically, if Alicia accepted all of these offers, then what would Doug's income be? Doug's income would be 52,000, right? But that's unusual. The normal first tranche isn't this high. This is an extraordinary example, and that's why we're sharing it. So I don't think everyone's going to get 500,000, but most people will get some funding offers. And if they're running thin, they could benefit from working capital. This is great. All right, so I got a couple questions talking about criteria. So again, remember, there's 4 phases, and what we're doing over 30 to 60 days is building a fundable business. So if we're doing this on day 1, approximately, of course, we don't have a fundable business yet. So we're taking the client wherever they are, their baseline credibility, and getting them offers. Then from there, we can work on building a fundable business to get the larger amount. So, the end goal, without a question, Alicia could qualify for millions of dollars of business funding once we have the program set up. This is first tranche. What I don't want you to worry about is, I need to find people with certain credit scores or certain time in business. Don't worry about that. People are where they are as their baseline. And that's what baseline means. It's where their starting point is. So get them enrolled in the startup program. We'll see what offers they get now. They can pick the ones that they want, and then we can continue on with the process. This isn't the goal of the business startup program. This is just a perk, their first benefit. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. So yeah, don't worry about, does someone need certain credit scores? Of course, credit impacts the first tranche, but we're not trying to filter people off of how much they'll get in their first tranche. We need to get people in that desire funding for a business. They need help creating a fundable business. And then the outcome of this will be whatever it is. Make sense? So this isn't what we're selling. This is just an interim benefit to the client. All right, let's scroll on down. Process. Let me make this a bit bigger. Okay, first tranche process. So, as I was just alluding to, what needs to happen first? You need to enroll the client. You need to enroll the client. So when you became a branch, what's called Opportunity Fund, we sent you editable agreements, one of which is the editable client agreement. So you take that editable client agreement, you remove our information, you put your information on because it's considered a private label or a white label model, right? You're going out under your branding. So then you get the client under contract. That's where it starts. That's where it starts. So do we do this before they're under contract? No. This is part of phase one. If you don't know what the phases are, we need to get you back into other training. So it starts with you getting the client in the startup program. Remember, in the startup program, our staff is responsible for implementation. And that's great because number one, you don't have to worry about being trained to do it. You don't have to do it. So it frees up your time so you can go educate more people, enroll more people. So number two, we onboard the client and we give them the offer. Well, I guess that's bad wording. We give them the option. Let's say that we give them the option if they want first tranche financing. Some people do, some people don't. We have a process we take them through. We have a link where we do a soft pull, and that helps us better understand the direction that we'll go. So if they want first tranche financing, they're going to fill out a simple one-page application. Again, we'll take care of that. You're not responsible for implementation. Our team does implementation. Then we'll provide them the cash funding offers. And as I mentioned earlier, we have about 40 lenders now. That number maybe will grow, but that's a really good number of lenders. Some work with good credit, some work with fair credit, some work with bad credit. But regardless, there's no hard inquiries. So I guess this is almost best case scenario here. Probably not going to get much better than this. Worst case scenario is they get little to no offers, but it doesn't really matter in the big picture because they didn't sign up specifically for this. However, I share this with you so A, you understand it, and B, I think this will help you close more deals when they know that they could start getting funding in just 24 hours. All right, so back to the process. So we get them the offers. They'll get the offers via text and email. We have a young lady named Victoria who will work with them on that. She's focused just on this specific tranche. So we'll assist them in getting the offers that they want. Now, will there be any steps, any stipulations, any required documents? It'll vary. There's not a general answer because you have around 40 different lenders. Some of them may want to see bank statements, some may not. Some may want different information, others may not. So there's not standardization, if anything at all would be needed, because we have different lenders and they're using their own protocols. And as we mentioned earlier, bam, you get a performance fee. So let's take Richard, for example. Richard's on the line. He was previously one of our branches, and so he runs a chamber of commerce. So it would have been very realistic for Richard to bring in 100 clients a month. If we can get 100 clients a month to go through this process and get these offers, you can imagine how much cash flow would be rolling through Richard's branch. So, this is not a sales discussion today, but you have to have leads, right? Every business has to have leads. If you don't have leads, we need to resolve that. Once you have leads, we need to educate them. And once we educate them, we should enroll them. And so this is what happens once they're enrolled. Right. So today's discussion isn't about leads. If you need leads, we've got to fix that immediately. You should have dozens, if not hundreds, of prospective leads. The worst case scenario is you say, oh yeah, I know 3 people. That you don't want to be, your branch should be generating 6 figures a month, 100,000 or more a month of income coming into your branch. We need leads. We need lots of leads. And if you have issues with that, we can resolve it. Once we have leads, we educate them about how the program works. then people enroll, and then we implement. All right, so then lastly, what should you do or what could you do to leverage this to enroll more clients? Because this is kind of a big deal, because if all they're thinking is, oh, I got to wait 30 to 60 days, that's not bad, but what's better? What's true is, hey, it's going to take 30 to 60 days to get your business optimized for funding. But guess what? We can go ahead and start getting you offers right away for some working capital. And let's say that Alicia, and I was talking to Alicia yesterday. So let's say Alicia accepts, let's just say she accepts half. So she gets $250,000. Could she turn around and pay that off when we get the business funding in 30 to 60 days? Absolutely. So you could even call this bridge funding or bridge loans if you wanted. You can use whatever adjective you want. All right, so let's get down and talk about how you should leverage this. So many prospects may be apprehensive about enrolling in the startup program. So what we do is real, it's legal, it's ethical, it's very valuable, but people sometimes can be hesitant. So making sure that you explain this aspect could very well increase your enrollments. So what we're saying here is it's crucial to educate them how we can provide them immediate and multiple benefits. So when you look at that 4-phase document, which isn't up here now, we've talked about it several times, make sure that you're clear when and how clients receive benefits. So in the first tranche, the first phase, they could get first tranche financing up to $500,000, and that's a factual statement. Here's an example. Now, we're not guaranteeing that they'll get the same amount that Alicia got. We can't do that. But theoretically, they could get up to $500,000 of first tranche financing within their first 24 hours. That's related to phase one. Then in phase two, what do you know? Well, we're going to be adding primary trade lines, and those are real trade lines that they can use and benefit from. Examples of those would be company automobiles and credit cards. And we've talked about that. We've showed you pictures of company automobiles. That's obviously real. If they wish, they can get daily deposits by participating in the Opportunity Fund. The Opportunity Fund provides clients, if they wish, those daily deposits to build their bank statement and give them more working capital, money that doesn't have to be paid back. Of course, in phase three, we're providing them for free the $10,000 of quick cash, again, money that doesn't have to be paid back. And the end goal is to get a fundable business so they can go get a large amount of business funding. It's just important to realize that if all that you're portraying to the client is, hey, in 30 to 60 days, you can get business funding, you're not going to enroll, you're not going to convert as many clients as if you're better explaining the benefits that they receive along the way. That's the point. If you are not a distribution partner, but you're a prospective client, welcome. We have a very open approach. So if you're a prospective client and you've not enrolled, if you were referred by one of our referral partners, get back with them and they'll help you get set up. If you were not referred by a referral partner, there's just a simple 2-step process, and you'll find that on chapmanloanprogram.org. We're seeing a lot of success. Mike's on the line. He's enrolled 4 clients in the past 24 hours. Many of you are enrolling a lot of clients. If you're not enrolling a lot of clients, we need to fix that, because there's a lot of people that want funding, that need help. They need educated, and they need help having a fundable business, and you and I can help them do that. If you need our email or phone number, of course, you can go to chapmanloanprogram.org and find it there. We're excited. We're committed to work with you. We'll do everything that we promise to do. Let us know what we can do to help you. If you're a branch, be successful. We should have weekly one-on-one calls, and we can speak as often as you need. If you're a small business owner starting or growing a business and you need funding, we can definitely assist you. There's no risk. We guarantee it. And you'll find that on chapmanloanprogram.org or by getting back with the referral partner that invited you today. So thanks, everyone. Have a great weekend. We will not have a Zoom Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday of next week due to travel. So we will resume next Thursday. Thanks, everyone. Let us know what we can do for you. Bye-bye.